The project launched formally in June of 2010, and we got into the wine industry because we just fell in love with the people that produce these wines on our behalf. We visited about 33 wineries. We ended up choosing 3. And it was a great way for us to tell our family story without necessarily politicizing it. I think that people think that my grandfather just fell from the sky. He's this mystical and mythical figure, but he's an actual human being. He was born of certain parents. He's a father, he's a grandfather, he's a son. And we wanted to tell the story of where my grandfather got all his ideals from, where he learned them from. And we thought that wine was a great vehicle to enable us to do that. We launched first with the Royal Reserve, and with the Royal Reserve we have 3 single varietals. We have a Chardonnay, a Shiraz, and a Cabernet Sauvignon. And then we subsequently launched with the Timbu collection. And the reason why we launched with the Timbu collection was we wanted these wines to ultimately be available to everyone. You'll see that they have very intricate labels, and these were inspired by my grandfather's Matiba shirts, because my grandfather didn't like wearing suits. He felt constricted in his suit. He wanted something that was easy and laid back that would make him more accessible as a leader, so he started wearing the shirts. And we thought that the shirts would be great inspiration for the labels. You'll see the bee, which is very prominent in all of our labeling. You see it's on the capsules here. The bee is our family's totem symbol. And it's a literal translation of my grandfather's Xhosa name, meaning Kholihlahla, so one who's brave enough to go and fetch the honey from the tree. Colloquially, it means one who's brave enough to challenge the status quo. And when my grandfather was being released from prison and he was going back to his ancestral home, he was followed by a swarm of bees all the way from the house to the airport. So that meant that the ancestors were welcoming him home and they were giving him good tidings. So we use a bee in all of our branding. It's our family's logo and it's our family's totem symbol. We don't own a wine farm. We are what you call a wine negotiant. We purchase the juice from specific wineries that we've decided to work with, and we make our own blends. We have a winemaker, and we also have somebody who's a very qualified sommelier. He's got a great palate, who will help us choose the wines and blend the wines. We want to showcase the best of what South Africa has to offer, and we feel that being a wine negotiant allows us to do that. But I think that there's a lot of challenges for black female-owned wine businesses in South Africa. There aren't many female-owned wine businesses. The wine industry employs about 350,000 people. The majority of those people are black, but there's very few black people who actually are owners of wine businesses. And we're hoping that people will actually purchase and consume more South African wines. I think ultimately our goal is to increase the profile of South African wines, and it's to grow the South African category.